myself, Fletch, and my boy, my man, Eric Groff, my co-partner here on this show, my compadre, my comrade.
My comrade.
It's a wonderful here to be with you again, talking all things about houses and selling and buying and maybe a little DIY. And Eric, of course, is a realtor for NavX Realty. His website is ericgroffrealtor.com. That'll get you to Eric's portion of NavX Realty. And you can drop a message there if you want to have a chat kind of a thing, you know, where he can get back with you, leave him a note of some kind of error or however that works. Correspondence, I guess, is a good way to put that. Get a hold of him so he can get a hold of you if you have any questions. You can also do that right here on this show. Hit the chat and ask us questions, and we will get back with you for certainly whatever topic it deems that you need information on. So we are here.
If you ask, you shall receive the answer.
There you go. Ask it, and they will build you an answer. So here we are. We're at episode 7. This is great. This is close to, I think, the college football show is the only show I've done that has more episodes, but that was college football. We'll catch up quickly because that's not going on right now.
That's right.
So this is fantastic. This week, we're definitely going to talk about, Eric, what's the topic?
Well, we're following up on the last couple of weeks' shows where we've taken baby steps through the process of how you can become a homeowner.
Right.
And
pick it up where we left off.
Yeah, correct. Basically, we're going to follow up there. And as if anybody has been through this process up to this point, you would not be alone in looking online for homes for sale. And most of you have been to one of the 3 bigger sites, that being Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia.com is another one. And there are a handful of others that are out there for people.
It's amazing how things have changed. Even when I bought a home, none of that was around. Maybe Zillow, but I had a friend who was a realtor, and I got and then she hooked us with their sites thing where you put in your information, your numbers, your high and low, and they start seeing homes and all that. Yeah. There was no Trulia for sure, no realtor. And that was 10, 12 years ago. And now all of a sudden it's like crazy. The amount of information out there. That's all technology, obviously. And I'm sure when you bought a home, there wasn't even a Zillow probably, right? I mean, am I right?
Correct. Yeah. When I bought this home, there was no Zillow.
So, but that's all in the past. So technology is excellent. We can use it. It's a great tool. And so somebody goes, they got, as of last episode, you're following along, you are now pre-qualified. You got your numbers, you're set to go. So you are hitting, obviously, more than like you're saying, they're hitting the websites.
And as you hit the website and you get excited about a certain home you'd love to go see, well, how do you think you're going to get in the front door?
Exactly.
There's probably only one great way to get through the front door besides bringing a plate of cookies and knocking on the front door. Saying, hi, I noticed your house was for sale.
Just had to be the neighborhood.
Do you mind if I come in? Here, have the plate of cookies. Thank you. And you just walk past them. No, that's probably not going to work, but you can always try it. I mean, if you're a bold whatnot, go for it. Ideally, everybody's schedule in the house shopping department is, contingent upon who has booked an appointment at such and such an hour. And that's done through a realtor, and you get somebody who is tied into the MLS and has the ability to schedule these showings in a timely manner. And on occasion, Fletch, as you may have recalled from your home shopping experience, sometimes these are appointments that you have to wait to hear back from because the homeowner may have pets inside the home and they need to remove said pets. They may need to, because we like to live in our homes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, some of us like to live in our homes. Right.
Yeah, we have a future mutual friends who you would swear don't live in their home because it looks like a model.
Look
they're
like
there. Why?
That's right. That's right. For 98% of us, that's not.
How is it that dust doesn't exist in your environment?
I know. So, for all of those, I got to clean up my kitchen because I just fixed dinner or breakfast or what have you. People want to make their place look ready, like as if they were welcoming guests into their home, because they want you to feel comfortable. They want you to feel like this may be your future space. So, rather than trash it, like have laundry spread out everywhere, have all sorts of dishes hanging out, and
we're giving the real world experience.
Yeah, exactly.
While you're here, do some dishes. Then you'll see what it's like to do dishes in your new home.
Right.
I'm gonna try that sometime.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's gonna help you sell your home more. But in today's market, obviously, there's all sorts of people losing their mind for wanting to buy a house. So there's not too many detriments that make it unappealing. But yeah, I'm an affirm believer in a clean home, a tidy home, a uncluttered home is going to fare better in the getting sold, getting interest in drawing an offer department. So with that, you get with a realtor and you say, hey, I'm available these days of the week for you as a working professional. Say you are a 9-to-5er or a 7-to-3er, then you're not going to be able to go shopping at the drop of a hat. You need scheduled showings and all this activity that pops up on your phone, either because your agent has sent you updated information, which, by the way, the only reason the Zillow, the Realtor.com, Trulia, and others have that information is because the MLS has something called IDX, and it populates all that data out immediately after it's been entered. Now, keep in mind, the information hits that realtor's portal feed first because of the way the system is designed. Let's kick it out to the members first, and then we kick it out to the those who are affiliates, right?
Sure. Okay.
So it is very, very possible that a client of mine will get notification of something that I've sent to them, or if I just didn't have eyes on it in that particular hour, then they may see it from those other sources, right? But either way, as long as you have active information hitting your email, you will be in the position to go look at that product before it's off the market, because in the seller's market, we're literally running 24 in the first 24 hours. If we are trying to schedule a showing on the backside of 48 hours, you can just forget it. I mean, you're likely not going to get in unless, of course, the home is unique, and I say that delicately.
Right.
That could be because of the interior condition. That could be because of its location.
Yeah,
and it could also be because of its amenities. Like historically, 3 bedrooms or more sell quicker than 2 or 1 bedroom homes do, right? Because obviously people out there,
little space.
Yeah, they're chasing the space. Whether even if it's a single person, they may want a second bedroom for company. They're relatives, right? So why buy a 1-bedroom home? But 1-bedroom homes sell. I know because I have sold one. So I get to sell it again here soon. As soon as I find that buyer a place to move, because
there you go.
That's the challenge. Is just find a place to move. So that is going to be your next steps. Is knowing what you want, and you'll figure that out through conversation with your agent or fooling around the internet. Right? You're gonna get familiar with all these neat places and say to yourself, well, that looks good. It's only part of the experience. That there are people, Fletch, military, that unfortunately sometimes get in a position of, I need to buy a home without walking through it. Can you imagine that?
No,
I can't.
Just the one house that I bought, thinking that what I remember seeing that I didn't take or didn't bid on.
Yeah.
And then of course we were in a unique situation that we were purposely looking for foreclosures just because I wanted to get a good deal. And it was a big time for foreclosures because it's about 2009 after everything happened in 2008. Anyways, knowing what you see, and then when you don't see, and then you see, yeah, it's like buying sight unseen is a bit scary. Renting is not so bad because you can just get out. Buying, that'd be scary. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have taken my phone in and just done FaceTime with them so that they get live action feed. They'll have me stop and say, "What's that?" And
Oh, nice.
that am I what am I seeing, and where is this in proximity to the bathroom?
Yeah,
That sort of thing. They have me look at the ceilings, because that's telltale evidence of either poor settling from the home,
right.
or if there was water damage from the roof. We see spots there.
Sure,
We also I look, my trained eye looks for patches. So
sure.
if I see something that looks like a contractor or somebody has done something with drywall mud up on the ceiling, then that's possible evidence that there was a problem at one time. Now there's
Sure.
not. And,
Right.
as long as we see consistency in the way we expect to see a home, patching doesn't make it bad. And
True.
and honestly, just about every problem in a home can be addressed, even if
Right.
it's structural, it can be addressed. It
Oh yeah,
just
things happen, and it's just a matter of what happened and how they take care of it.
right.
A good friend of mine's parents down here in the near the plat that I live in, well before I moved here, huge home with a full basement, finished, 5 bedrooms. They empty nesters, kids are all grown and gone to college and married, so they're there and they're not out of town one day, and the little line for their ice maker to the fridge sparked a leak and
That happened to me.
drowned everything. They had pretty much every interior wall on that one level on the flooring because it was on the level above all had to be redone. They
Oh,
had it redone, so it was fine, but it was a major issue. But
wow. Yeah.
insurance took care of it. They got in there and they just gutted the place, got all the appliances because just everything So it happens. I mean, life happens sometimes, but it's how you take care of it to make sure that as Mike Holmes would say, make it right. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's one thing I didn't do when I looked through this house was start examining walls for things, which I kind of maybe should have. Luckily, it wasn't there, but we did know that I should say we did know. Now, I didn't say we didn't. We did know that the people had a problem at some point before we were looking at this house. People who lived there with the front faucet, and there was a big hole in the wall right where in the bedroom, right where the front faucet comes out, into the house from the outside, and that was because they had to get in there and fix something. They had a huge leak and they had a flood. So all the interior walls in this one section, right, were completely redone. Everything was done and done with, but they left that hole there. And I remember a good friend of mine, I was like, why didn't they just patch that up? And he said, well, my guess is when they fixed it, they would already moved out or something. And maybe they just didn't, but they want, so he said, what we can do is instead of drywalling it up, he goes, we can buy what's called it's like a trap door and it blends in and we paint it over it, so it's there. You can't really see it unless the room's empty because it's kids' room. But if for some reason we need to get to that, we can pop that panel right out and there it is. So we chose to do that just in case it ever became an issue, which hasn't, thank God. So yeah, you never know what you're, so it's good to check walls and, look at things and all that. And like you say, you see something, it becomes pretty obvious. Okay, well, where'd it come from? What happened? Is there any other this way, that way, the other? And you can see if you got like, okay, this is a nightmare and it's still going on, or this was somebody else's nightmare and that's how they fix it or whatever, So absolutely.
Yeah. I encourage people to actually walk through the house, at every showing possible, only if it's a problem with scheduling
Right.
I'll go for my client, and
That's excellent.
most of the time I'm doing this because I know they're really interested in this product. They just can't make it. I can be their eyes on the ground. I'm going to bring them back to the home when it's appropriate, but the point here is not only that's part of my service, but secondly, I want them to feel like they're still in the running. because
and you're up against the clock sometimes.
We are up against the clock, and they don't want to miss out. And
Right.
it's just like I've had people go out of town, whether it was business or pleasure, and I looked in their absence and did FaceTime videos with them so that they could feel like they were there. And all of what I experienced, I revert back to them, as if I were them. I mean, the whole point of being a good agent in my life is this: I'm trying to do for others as if I were spending my own money.
Sure.
It's and until I know that they're 100% on the we're loving it department, there's no point in doing my job. I mean, I have to get people pumped about what they're doing, and because this is such a big deal. You're spending a number and 5 zeros with it. I mean, it's a very big.
Almost certainly, no matter what your income is, almost certainly where you live is going to be your biggest investment purchase type thing. There's always exceptions. There's no doubt, and sometimes you own more than one. So even if you own more than one, you just clump them together. Those are 2 big investments. Almost certainly. Like you said, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. So
easy. So
getting them into the home is quintessential. So that's you look online, you get an agent, the agent gets you into the home so that you can actually see it, smell it, touch it, feel it, experience, and then a good agent's going to educate you on what to look out for. Hey, I noticed this. Hey, take a look at this. Do you guys know what this does? When it comes to reverse osmosis systems, I've met a lot of people that have no idea what that is.
Right.
So, it's a little value add, right? I mean, to have filtered water, not everybody has to have it. A lot of our local water cleaning plants are doing a phenomenal job these days. I don't feel like I have to filter my Kettering water any more than what I do out of my fridge. So
that's what I was gonna say. It's like we got a brand new fridge, and it came with a really cool filter thing that the other fridge had as well. So and it's interesting. I just said to my wife the other day, we've had this fridge now a month, I think, and I still haven't used the ice or the water section because we drink so much bottled water, So it's like I just haven't had the chance to do it yet. I will. I just grab them. Well, I'm big on this right here. I grab bottled water and I put a little 0-calorie squirty in there, and that's what I drink 99% of the time now. I'm off soda and all that, So yeah, exactly. So, but filtered water, right there on the door of a fridge versus a whole home system, which in certain areas you don't want certain types of water, like you don't want salted water or softened water for the plants because that is horrible for them, So you make sure your water softeners hook up to your outside spigot, stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely. But I think Howie's got a whole filtered home system or something like that.
Does he? Yeah, I bought one too.
Okay.
When I redid the kitchen, that's one of the first things that I wanted to put in because growing up, my parents had a reverse osmosis. But I remember how different Huber Heights water tasted after coming out of that faucet. I mean, there was definitely a big difference. And, I wanted that same no flavor.
Right.
I mean, like it's just water.
Sure.
Where, some, different places you go in the community, you can taste water from and realize, wow, that has a different flavor to it,
Yep. Especially in the country.
Yeah. So just
the well water.
Right. So, little things that you'll experience inside the home, whether it's creaky floors, door jambs that look like they've been beaten up, the uneven floors.
Right.
You can't get that from looking online, can you?
Oh, no, not at all.
You can't. I mean, that's looking online is just really a teaser. It gets you the idea of what a space can look like. And let me tell you something, people, pictures don't do justice for some of these homes.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of my own home going, man, it looks so much better than it does in real life in the inside because I know that floor is not clean, but it looks clean on that picture. So I don't tell anybody. So you didn't hear that from me, but yeah.
Yeah, and smells too. Like
Right.
I was in a house over the weekend, and it was pungent, full of urine, dog urine, and
Ooh.
it was concentrated in one room, but the whole floor, like you just could not get away from it. And
Right.
I'm a non-smoker, so I have a more sensitive of a nose that, and my clients do. Excuse me, my clients do too. They also, you see the squirm in the face, and it's affecting them too. And that unfortunately is something that I would have talked about with the client before we listed it, to insist that
Yeah.
this is going to hurt you. Yeah, it's going to hurt you, and here's why. Because
Yeah.
any little turnoff in the experience of a showing can be a deal breaker for somebody wanting to write an offer.
Yep. Yep.
And
It's like,
do you want that?
right. When we walked into looking at homes, I'm very forgiving on certain areas. Like you can always paint. Paint's so easy. Maybe you don't want to do it. I hate doing it, but I know it's easy, especially when the house is empty. Oh man, before you move in, get in there and slap paint everywhere. Easier to do with a room full of furniture and stuff. But yeah, a smell, unless you know what it is and you can easily get rid of it, then you're thinking, oh my gosh, we got to get rid of the smell before we move in. So what else are we dealing with here? So yeah, there's lots of things to look at when it comes to a smell. This house had a room added to the back, which they didn't change any of the structure of the home. They just stuck on a metal room, aluminum room.
Yeah.
And then somebody after that person did that turned it into a dog house, put a little dog door in it. So that back room smelled like dog pee 100% of the time. So the Mother Nature / God finally took that room down with a nice snow one day, one year, which we were happy about because I didn't want it anyways.
Yeah.
We had him haul it away. We ripped up that nasty carpet that had all dog pee on it. Now it's just an outdoor patio, and we love it because we love being outdoors. The smell's gone,
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just all worked out nice without really having to do anything. But it didn't keep us from buying the home because it was not in the home. It was that extra room. We just figured we had a baby, 1-year-old. So we'll address that someday. And God took care of it for us. So it was great, And that was actually not a prayer. It just happened. We didn't really pray for that to happen. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. So anyways,
I'm having a thought here. I think our next week's show should be centered around what a seller can do or should do to prep its house for market.
Sure.
Because I know that this urine thing that I dealt with, this thing that you dealt with, you, like you said, you were tolerant. You saw the greater good or the potential.
Right.
Not everybody does. So, can you cater to more by doing more? Or, what are the pros and cons?
Oh yeah. Our good friend Ronnie, we know he has an incredible eye for what a house could look like. Because I've seen some of the houses he's bought and just like, dude, what were you smoking when you bought that? And then 6 months later, you're like, wow, dude, you did a great job. This looks beautiful. I don't have that kind of an eye. So I need a house that's somewhat move-in ready or more, structural wise. And I watch all these home shows and I'm thinking, man, these people are so good at their job. Yeah. And I'm not. I mean, I don't have, but I trust certain things. So when we did our floors and certain things, I knew it was going to look better, even though I couldn't picture it. And it does. It looks awesome. Yeah. And it alleviates so many issues. I've never been in a home that didn't. We have carpet still in the bedrooms, but I've never been in a home that everything outside the regular areas was a carpet. So it's new to me. And it was tough in the beginning because I'm not used to walking on floors. I used to walk on carpet and stuff, but I've gotten used to it. It's been a little over a year now and stuff. So yeah, hopefully, if you're buying a home and maybe you're married, you're with a partner or friends or whatever, you got somebody in your life that can kind of help you if you are like me, see what can be done versus, and stuff like that. So, because sometimes you can get a good deal and the seller is looking to make a deal if they know it needs a little of this and you're okay with that, but it's nothing crazy. And, it's places still move-inable and livable, and you can take care of whenever, whatever. Because like I told you about our windows, when it rained, the water came in the windows. I mean, and I didn't know that. That's one thing I know. It has windows; they're fine. I never tested them with water,
right?
But as fate would have it, my dad was very sick, passed away in 2011. We bought the house in 2010, and we used money from his passing to get triple pane windows in that house, which changed a whole bunch from the temperature and the feel of the house, obviously, because they're triple pane, they're new, to the fact that the water didn't come in, stuff like that. So, yeah, I never knew I was going to do that, but I did it,
I share your story. I didn't have water issues, but I knew the windows from 1958 were just not doing the job. The efficiency factor wasn't there, and I knew this was going to be a solid investment after moving in, and that was one of my very first major purchases to this house. Fletch, I remember the price tag on that was like $5,500.
Wow.
It was substantial, but like you, I did triple pane because I wanted the maximum efficiency in my windows, and the company gave me a lifetime guarantee. 50-year guarantee. That seems like a lifetime to me.
Right. Sure.
And they have been outstanding. I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. So you just clean the tracks periodically because Mother Nature still kicks in stuff from the outside.
Another thing that a lady up the street gave me as a piece of advice was get full-size screens.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't have to move because the top windows come down or the bottom would go up. So no matter where you want to open, your screen's there. So I did that. So we got full-size screens on all the windows. We only have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 windows in this house. It's just not a big house, and 3 of them are doubles, like what's behind me.
Right.
The master of this one and the I should say 6 of them. I'm counting these as 2. So there was 2 windows, 2 windows, 2 windows. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 singles in the bedroom. So yeah, they're spectacular, and it just when you want to enjoy the outside air in your home, you have great windows to open up with. Those other windows they took out, some of them didn't open, wouldn't stay open. So when you can't do that, then you lose out on the ability to have a nice, cool house in the spring without running your air conditioner. And all the times where you can use the outside to help your environment is magnified when you got good windows. There's no doubt,
Yeah. Everybody loves a little breath of fresh air, right?
Oh, yeah. And use Mother Nature's to her advantage when it comes to how good it feels. Because a lot of times that's short-lived. It's like that spring was a week, and now we're in the summer. Everything's 80. So
that is another thing I test, or at least get eyes on when we're in the house touring the home, is the windows. Because some of the major expenses that a homeowner is going to embrace at some point are your furnace, your air conditioning, your windows, your roof, your water heater, and that's pretty much it. If we're talking mechanicals and stuff, you can live with a dated house, right? A lot of people choose to improve as their funds or timing works out. But the things that make it habitable and efficient for some are very important. So I point out, hey, let's take a look at the windows. Are they all new? Are they all working? We're not going to sit there and open up all the windows unless we really, really love the place. It's not really our job to. The inspector will do that for you.
Right.
So, once you're past that phase of accepted offer, then, an inspector is going to come in. And I suppose that's a topic for another show.
Oh, yeah.
What different things an inspector takes a look at.
I think it's rare I think most of the time when you're buying homes, especially with realtors involved and all that, and banks with big loans, inspection is a must. Most places won't allow you to buy them. They won't give you money unless you haven't inspected. So they want to make sure the house is what it is and worth what it's worth and all that. As it happened with us buying this home, it was a foreclosure and it was empty. We only had to have a termite inspection. We didn't have to have a home inspection.
Right.
I did so anyways because I wanted to make sure, but I did it with a good friend, so it wasn't
That's because you're a smart man.
Well, I know that I don't know nothing, so to speak. I don't know anything about homes at that point, so I want to make sure somebody that does
can brought in a professional,
right? Make sure and see things that I don't see. So yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a super expensive thing doing it the right way. I want to say a couple. $250, $300, something like that. I've heard before on certain.
It's a little higher these days.
Higher than that now.
We're at $375 as a base.
Okay,
full house inspection, but
comparing that to the tens and hundreds of thousands you're going to pay for a home, it's relatively cheap,
right?
And it's worth knowing that everything you're going to know about a home. Because if the inspector didn't get it, then I don't know how the inspector's on the dime for something he missed or how that all works. But you just would never want to buy a home, not have it inspected, and then find out you got this huge mold problem. And the inspector would have caught that. And mold is another thing. Not everybody gets it, but let me tell you, it is not cheap to get rid of it. I know that only because the church I go to, we had to do that. It was just a basement of the church, and it was just north of $30,000 to get rid of mold. And that was just to get rid of the mold. We did all the re-drywalling ourselves as men of the church, but the company to get rid of the mold.
It definitely depends on what stage you catch the problem.
Oh, and this was like
that sounds like
you walk down and go, I smell mold. It was bad.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Yeah, it was bad. The basement was not poured concrete; it's the blocks, so water just came through very easily and created tons of mold.
Yeah,
so it's all good now, but yeah, mold is, you never want to be caught on the wrong side of mold. That's for sure.
And again, you point out another interesting benefit of walking through the house without trying is smells. That's one of the things that it's not necessarily a bad smell that you're looking for, but the way a home smells might give you good vibes. It might not give you good vibes, but because you got to walk through it, you're going to know.
Exactly.
From, these visual stimulants and these sounds and smells. This is where you're going to call yourself, this is my house. So you want it to feel right in so many ways.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many variables with us. Right away when we found this home, I was in love with the neighborhood because I was familiar. I'm like, okay, man, I hope this is a winner. Mm-hmm. The price is right, and I love the neighborhood. So let's just hope we go in here, we don't see that somebody had a end of life war party with the walls, which I had seen in other homes. You get ready to move, bring your shotgun. We're having a party inside my house. We're going to blow a hole in every wall and then leave. And I am not kidding. It was like, oh my gosh, $100,000 for this home, great price, but then I'm going to put $200,000 in it just to make it livable. I don't think so. Ain't happening. So it's when we were so blessed with the fact that it was livable, move-inable right away, and we'd already seen certain things we loved about it, so it worked out great in the neighborhood. So I was definitely like, oh, I can live with that. I can change that. No big deal. So love the house, love where it's at, and it's move-inable. Those are my three big things, because you can't change your neighborhood. It's really hard to pick up your house and move unless you're in a mobile home. So you can't change your neighborhood. You can't change you negotiate the price, obviously, but that's usually not a huge negotiation issue. So you just got to, you got to love where you're going to live, in my opinion. And a lot of it's different. We're a family. You may not be a family. So it depends on what you're doing and where you are. We talked about that last week, the week before. Some people love downtown living. I couldn't do it.
Some people want no yard at all. They don't have pets. They don't want to deal with exterior maintenance. But, for you and me, we love that. My wife made a comment this week about how pretty our yard looks. I had just cut the grass. I bought her a hanging basket for Mother's Day, and I, just typical tidy, cutting your lawn kind of thing. But you do it right, and it looks nice. And we have a number of perennials that are up in full bloom right now, so the yard looks good. So it's a great feeling as a homeowner to have a yard. But it doesn't work for everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually know a guy. He has a home. Him and his wife, they have like 3 kids. They have a small home. They want a small home. It's. I mean, he certainly can afford a bigger home, but they like the little tiny home kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he loves dandelions. So he just doesn't understand why people get rid of dandelions.
Does he?
Yeah, he makes dandelion soup. And I'm just like, okay, man. To each their own and all that. Dandelions don't bother me as much as the big, tall, puffy things that get they grow in one night and they get 10 inches off the ground, But I think it's a form of dandelion or something. But no, I mean, to me, when it looks like a golf course is when it looks great. When it's nice and deep green, and all that. It's hard to do.
Language.
But
speak my language, and I'm not allowed to put any lawn treatments on our grass per the wife. So I have, she's just real against it. I've snuck in a few here and there just because I wanted that golf course look, now, so fortunately we don't have that many dandelions that pop up in the spring, mostly in our backyard. None really do
Are you
well
allowed
in the
to
front yard.
Use the things that kill dandelions and not grass, like a squirty thing on them, or do you have to just pull them out by the root?
She wants me to just pull them up by the root.
Okay. Well, I do know that if you can get your lawn to thick enough and you maybe,
so you'd have to feed it. You'd have to feed it, right?
And
there's another, from her perspective, chemical. And I tell her, no, it's not. It's not a chemical. It's just feeding the lawn.
It's grass feed. But
it is.
Thick lawn will keep dandelions from coming. There's,
Correct.
no doubt. But yeah.
Correct. And
my lawn, when I first moved in, I was taking really good care of it. I'm not Joe Brady, but I was taking good care of it. It was really nice, deep green. And then the last couple of years, I don't know what really happened with my lawn. I don't know if I hit close to 50 and things started changing. So my lawn's really out of control. So I got to get it back. The backyard's just nuts because we're putting in a pool. So that's a little different. But I got to get the dandelion thing under control. And I just haven't, it's no excuse other than no excuse, but it is something I want to fix because I do miss having a nice green lawn.
In time.
And especially with all my neighbors, but yeah, so hopefully that's something I'm going to get back to and get it going. So, but yeah, enough about that, but on lawn. Home ownership is something that most people, I would say, really take good pride in, what they're owning, what they're buying, want to look as best they can. And sometimes it does get away from you, gets overwhelming. But just stick with it and do as little day by day as you can, and you'll be there. Because if you don't, before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, everything needs done or whatever, And yeah, me and a buddy killed out the flower bed in the front a couple years ago, and I haven't done anything with it yet. It's just because I went to the nursery place one time. Well, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of this stuff, and I'm like, dude, this stuff's expensive.
Yes,
I'm going to do something else. And I haven't. My wife's not a green thumb person, neither am I when it comes to planting things. So we just haven't done anything. But my kids are kind of talking like they're interested in it. So I might try to help get them out there. And
there you go.
We laid down the black thing to keep stuff from coming in, and we got mulch on top. So we might get them interested in it and see what they want to do and plant some things, With them interested, it makes me interested. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That kind of thing.
Learning experience. Right. That'd be great.
Kids will teach you. So
because they'll be enamored.
Right.
What will work? What will this look like?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Sort of thing.
So they so they're getting the home. Realtor gets you in the home, and from that point, basically, you're going to find something hopefully that you really like and you want to bid on. Then from there, it's just a matter of let's talk numbers, let's see numbers and all that. And because the inspection doesn't come until after you're accepted, right? You don't want to have a home inspected before you have something accepted, right?
Correct. Yeah. You're not going to invest money into something that you don't have any true stake in the game. So,
right.
Yeah. Once you sign paperwork, then it's time to pony up and roll up your sleeves, sort of thing, and find out more about the home.
Yep. And obviously, in this seller's market, well, we were talking off our air that not much time and room for negotiations. You come hard with your best offer. Be prepared to maybe even have some cash. Cash offers seem to be winning, because people are getting their money quicker. It's just the way it is for some people, not everybody, but some people have cash, some don't. So you just gotta, be ready and prepared and act quick in this market the way it is right now. And who knows how long this is going to last? I mean, you never know. A year from now, it could be totally different. It could be even tighter seller's market. It's hard to imagine now.
That's what they said last year.
Yeah.
That's what they said last year, Fletch.
Yeah.
And it's still game on.
Right.
So it really is.
After week, the last market you looked at, I was going to ask you, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah. Week after week, I've I kept eyes on activity, and we're still holding the same bar where inventory is under 700 over the entire Dayton region. And, for the homes that are priced 125,000 to 250,000, there's 176 homes available. So good luck to all the 3,000 agents out there working for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Tough to be a real estate agent, baby.
It is.
It's tough to be a man. It's tough to be a realtor, man.
It's tough to be a real estate agent right now, but that's okay. I certainly love it, and I'm not going to trade it in for anything right now, because it feeds my soul as I'm doing for others, and I really enjoy the whole experience of shopping to learning about what makes people get fired up about a home, and seeing its potential. Just there's a whole lot of what if, and that's exponential, right? What if is exponential. It's not definite, and because of that, it just really makes this industry very exciting to me.
Sure. And as a potential home buyer or seller, there's lots of questions that you certainly are probably going to have and can have, and we will definitely want to answer them for you. If you shoot us some chat questions, Eric Groff, Realtor. If you want to reach Eric directly, we got it down here at the bottom. You can reach him straight through the NavX Realty site. That'll get you there. It's a beautiful site, by the way, especially that cover side of Eric's living room. But, I'm sorry, Dream Living Room. I said that wrong.
Dream Kitchen. Yeah.
Dream Kitchen. Yeah. So, I think we're going to cover some more of this next week, and maybe even get into from the seller's point of view. But, it gets tense when you find the one you want, and then you're like, okay, how are we going to get this house, or how are we going to sell this house to the person that wants it? So that right there's where the rubber meets the road. You got to come prepared. So we'll talk about that and more next week for sure. Real quick, do a couple restaurant recommendations this week. I turned 52, so I had a huge barbecue thing at my house. So the day before my birthday, I treated myself to Joe's Pizza right there on Colonel Glenn between Woodman and Smithville. We're pretty much off the corner of Smithville.
Right.
It's been there a long time. As a matter of fact, it's on the pizza box. I think it says 1937. I could be wrong about that. It could be 67, but either way, it's probably 67. Either way, now that I think about it, you just can't go wrong with Joe's Pizza. A lot of times I see I belong to certain Facebook groups. People are like, where's the best pizza in town? I'm like, Joe's Pizza, simply the best. And there's a ton of great pizza in this town. I love Joe's, and it's incredibly affordable. I got a large pizza, which they have a jumbo, so it's not even their biggest. Large pizza, which was 12 inches, 12 or 14. I think it was 12. No, it was 14. 14-inch pizzas are long. The jumbo is 16. So large pizza, 16 inches, 2 toppings, pepperoni and sausage, extra cheese. It's like $13 and some cents. You just can't beat that. That's incredible.
That's awesome.
And it just tastes so good. So it made my pre-birthday fantastic. Awesome. And then, of course, the barbecue ribs I made on Saturday were fantastic. It was just a lot of fun, good times.
Yeah.
So
glad to hear you had an awesome birthday. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, that's Joe's Pizza. Highly recommend if you haven't had it. Yeah. And you live in a Dayton area, go get you some Joe's. Eric?
Yeah. So after, a fun-filled, we had a prom senior weekend, and that had a lot of fun with it to celebrate Mother's Day to First Watch. And this is a restaurant that we've been to a number of times and always had a great experience. Great quality food, and the atmosphere is buzzing like, inner city almost. It's not like your Cracker Barrel style of breakfast, but very tasty. I had the blueberry pancakes, which also were made with multi-grain. So it was not only super delicious, it was nutritious.
Delicious and nutritious. Absolutely.
Oh, that was good stuff. I would recommend First Watch to anybody.
Yep. First Watch is a fantastic place, and I believe they're only breakfast and lunch. They're not a dinner place.
They're not a dinner place.
So
got it.
Very good place. Very healthy food too, but very good tasting. So a great recommendation for first watch.
And not cheap. I'll say that too. You're definitely going to spend a bit of money to get the high quality stuff that they're preparing
right.
for.
Right. Yeah. There's no doubt. You pay a little more, but you're getting great food and
you're
great quality food. So absolutely.
And great service too.
Yep. We mostly have gone to the one in Colonel Glenn near the Wright State. So we get a lot of Wright Staters that are there, but great people, great services. And so I'm sure you're probably down the Kettering. There's one down there too.
I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Down the country.
So, down the country. Yes. So, all right. That's going to do it for another episode of Your Home Sweet Home, which is, Eric, his mantra is he wants to navigate you to your home sweet home, and he will help you do that. So take advantage of his offerings, if you will, as being the great realtor that he is. Absolutely. NavX Realty. We'll do it again on the ticker. It's I hit the wrong button.
Some helpful blog
Here it is.
Information on my website that
yes,
teach you a number of different things from DIY to financing and just other real estate related experiences.
Absolutely. So
check it out.
It's a great way to get a hold of him. And obviously we welcome your comments and questions about all things realty and real estate, homes, buying, selling, and everything in between. So Eric, great show again. Thank you very much for all the information. And
much as always, I thank you for bringing me in and having this conversation that hopefully is being educational to our listeners.
Absolutely. My pleasure. It's a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing another show next week. So until then, I didn't even say this at the beginning or the end. My bad. Facebook, give me a like, give me a share. If you're on YouTube, it's subscribe and notify. Hit all those things up. And I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you again next week right here on Your Home Sweet Home. So enjoy the music on the way out, and we'll see you next week.